Welcome back to Horn Takes. I am Sean Redfern. Joining me tonight from the cheap seats, Michelle. Michelle, it is Red River Shootout week. How are we doing so far this week?
Doing good. Been fighting for my life on Twitter. These OU fans, they feel very confident and sort of rightfully so, but we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. We're going to talk all things Red River Shootout tonight. We'll talk about just fair generalities. We'll preview these Oklahoma Sooners. We'll talk about the keys to the game tonight, and we will have our predictions tonight. But before we do that, let's do a little housekeeping. ChinookSeedery.com. Get over there. Use our promo code Horn Takes, and you'll get 10% off your order. They are the best seeds ever. They have 8 great flavors. I love them. I've got a closet. Actually, I've got a pantry full of them. Chew them all the time. And they're not just for baseball season like you might think, although they are very big-time followers of college baseball. They're also for college football, and they're specifically made for weekends like this where you don't know what the hell is about to happen. And I feel like the Red River Shootout, Michelle, is always one of those weekends where you can kind of just throw everything out the window. It does not matter what the records are. It does not matter what the rankings are. Actually, almost nothing matters except what happens down on the floor of the Cotton Bowl. But before we get into that, I got to ask you a question. I saw something on Monday in Sark's presser, and I want to get your thoughts on it because it's been a kind of a controversial topic on the Twitters the last few days. What did you make of Sark's comments about the other 135 teams and whether they could go into the shoe or whether they could go to the swamp and get out with a win? What was your initial reaction?
I mean, it's loser mentality. I am giving Sark a mulligan on this one, though, because I think he's really on tilt. I think he was genuinely surprised by what happened. I think he was very defensive. And I mean, I get it, but I think Sark is usually 100% awesome with the media. That was a big misstep, in my opinion. And I mean, like, he rightfully got grilled pretty hard on some of the morning shows and things like that on national television. I'm not even talking about Texas YouTube shows, literally nationally. It was not his best moment, but to me, I think he's just trying to uplift the team, and maybe be like, guys, that was really hard. And I think he's just trying to pivot and move on to this week. So I kind of give him a pass for it, but I mean, it was bad. I did not like it at all. But
yeah, I can't recall seeing a single time where a coach has spoken like that where it ended up good for them. Like it's crazy to say this, and I am certainly not saying like Texas should be looking to move on from Sark. Do not mistake me. That is not what I'm saying. But it was like what you see at the end of a lot of coaches' tenures at a school. I mean, we saw it from Mack Brown at the end. As great as Mack Brown was, we saw a lot of that type of commentary at the end for Mack Brown. And man, I almost feel like something's going on, man. We had the comments earlier in the year when Arch was, squinting when he was throwing, and he got all bent out of shape about that, which again, I get it. It's got to be frustrating to lose games and have to go sit down and answer some of these questions. I can 100% get with that. But I think you're a guy that's making as much money as Sark is.
Right.
And that's just kind of part of the job. Like, you just have to kind of be able to go suck that up and give better answers than that. I don't know, man. And then I saw the players talking and I saw Trey Wisner say something about like it just being another game. And man, I don't know how I feel about. I think it's okay to say it's just another game if you're 5-0 and you just left the swamp with a big win and y'all are cruising and you've already beaten the defending national champs. I think it's okay because just another game has been good enough, right? At that, like, if you're 5-0 and you're Texas right now, just another game, you're good enough. that can be fine to go win in the Cotton Bowl in the Red River Shootout. I just feel like this team is almost just kind of coasting through the year. Like they're almost just, yeah, we know. It's like a script over and over again, the same types of answers. It's really frustrating. And I don't, I'm just a fan. Like they don't owe me shit, really, but I worry about them. Like something needs to get like spun up about something in that locker room and in that coaching room and get this team back on track. It's just really odd. And we haven't seen this out of Sark teams and out of Sark before. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know that it necessarily means anything, but it is odd. And it did not come off well with Longhorn Nation for sure.
Right. I agree. And I don't think the Wisner comment either would have rubbed anybody the wrong way, except that we haven't seen that much passion outside of Arch freaking fighting for his life and things like that. We haven't seen that much tenacity from any of the players. It has sort of felt like we've been sleepwalking kind of the whole season. And so I think that normally that type of a comment is, I mean, it's just standard media speak. And so maybe they're just advising the players to stick to the script. Cause I mean, they are pretty tough on all of the players and when it comes to how they speak in front of the media. So it could just be, they don't want them deviating from that certain script. I don't know, but it feels weird. I mean, God, I wish somebody would just start cussing like, yeah, I'm effing pissed, you know? Yeah. Like, I would love to see it. I'll be like, yeah, me too. Yeah. But, you know, I don't know. It's just so hard to say. But it's certainly interesting. And I would certainly love to see some fire this week. I understand if maybe they don't want that to be in front of the media, but man, I would love to see it on the sidelines or on the field.
Oh yeah. We talked, we kind of talked when Arch kind of stood over the player from wherever he was from, Sam Houston.
Right, well, yeah.
Yeah. We kind of talked about, that might've been a little much. I do that the whole game this weekend. Like I would love to see that. Please, somebody like show some fire and some grit or something, because it just, I rewatched the Florida game and it just was 100% not there. Like it was almost like they didn't want to be there. They like didn't want to be playing a football game on Saturday, which is, it's just insane to me. These guys get to play in these games in front of these crowds and with these stakes. And it's probably, I'm an old man. I get it now. I've lived a lot of my life. Probably when I was back in their shoes, I might take it for granted too. Mm-hmm. My advice to them would be live that shit up, because you only get to do that once and you're very lucky to be able to get to do that. So yeah, I want to see like a fight before like if they got in a fight at midfield, I would be like, this is great. This is like, at least they care. Because at this point, I don't even know if they care. Anyway, we're talking Red River Shootout. I know we're up against a whole lot of Major League Baseball tonight. Tell your friends we're on. If they're interested in the show, jump in the chat, drop us your comments, drop us your questions. There are some elimination baseball games tonight. It can't be helped. They didn't call me and ask when I was doing my show. So it is what it is. But join us and chat it up with us if you're here tonight. All right, let's get right into it. I said at the top of the show, Red River Shootout. Absolutely, I love it. It is my favorite game of the year, 100%. And by the way, let me ask you: is it what is the name of this game to you?
I mean, I think that I honestly mostly just call it Texas OU, but I prefer Red River Shootout. That's the OG, the classic. Yeah, when I was really little, that's what it was called. I mean, I don't mind Red River rivalry, but it's kind of hard to say. The triple R.
That's why I hate it. That is why I hate it, because I can't say it.
It's a little challenging to say, but I normally just call it Texas OU or Red River. But Red River Shootout is preferred, like, for the logos and the nostalgia of it. That's what it is. But it was a time before we got so, I don't know, wussified or something. Like it was just a shootout. It was going to be a big game. Everybody knew it. Let's talk a little bit about it. I don't think people that have never been to this understand like how much of a spectacle this actually is. You're talking about a stadium that now holds
I want to say it's close to 100,000. I think it's like 93, 94,000 since they've done the upgrades and expanded the upper decks. So you've got like, let's just say roughly 100,000 people in a stadium that's crammed right in the middle of, I don't know if it's the biggest state fair. It's probably close if it's not. It's a very big state fair. Let's put it that way. Crammed right in the middle of all of that. And there's probably on that Saturday, there's got to be close to 300,000 people in that area, like inside the fences at the state fair. You've got, I mean, you're sitting in the stadium, you see all the rides happening. You hear all the sounds, you smell all the smells. Like it is just, you got the split right down the 50-yard line, which is 100% unique. I've never seen that any other game. And what used to be cool is they flip-flopped that depending on which team was home, which team was away. Yeah, so back in the day, the home team got the tunnel.
Okay.
And I don't know when this stopped. And honestly, I'm saying that I can't remember when that was. But that's the legend I'm told is back in the day they flip-flopped and the home team got the tunnel, but then people started complaining about the tunnel. So that's why there's like this little subset of OU fans that are stuck over there on the Texas side. Right.
That's so funny. I didn't know that.
It almost the little cutout of them looks almost exactly like the tunnel. Like you could just take them and plant them right in the tunnel and they would fit right in. Tell us about your favorite state fair, whatever, Red River shootout memory.
So I'm going to just go with a recency bias one because it's the last one I've gotten to go to, and I was able to go with my whole family. And it was 2018, unranked Texas beat OU. I think it was like 45-48. OU was ranked, I think, number 7 that year. So I'm like channeling that energy. But I mean, it was such a great game. And it had everything that your typical Red River shootout has. You know, Texas got into this huge lead and it was, you know, OU's fans started to leave, but then they came almost all the way back. And so we're, of course, reeling like, oh my God, how are we going to blow this? And then we won the game at the last second, even though we had been leading almost the whole time. And it was just your classic thriller. The underdog prevailed. It was such a fun game. And my family and I, we went and, you know, got drinks afterwards. So it was just such a great memory. And at that point, I had just recently graduated from Texas. So it was really fun to get to go as an alumni. And my little sister was currently going to UT. So it was just so much fun getting to see her with her friends. And I mean, it just had everything you want in that game. It was amazing.
Yeah, I think for me, like the best one I went to, I think the best one's your first one. And my first one was 2005. And that was a blast, obviously. Yeah, it was a blast because I think they'd beat us like 5 times in a row leading up to that or something. And like even as good as that 2005 Texas team was, and really looking back at it, just how like not good that Oklahoma team was, man, you just like if you're a Texas fan, you go up there and you're thinking, God, we just can't beat these guys, you know? So to beat them down the way they beat them down was an absolute blast. But I think probably the funnest game I've been to was 2008 when, you know, the Jordan Shipley punt return or kickoff return, the Quan Cosby block down on the goal. Like it was just a fun game. Like Texas got down early and you're kind of going, oh shit, here we go again. Right. Because we lost the year before. I was at that one too. We lost the year before. And so you're just like, man, God, are we going on another streak again?
Right.
So that one was pretty. That one was fun from like a decent game type perspective.
For sure. That one was awesome. I remember I came home from a cross country meet from high school and my mom and little sister were watching it upstairs. And I'm like, I had a bad race. So I'm like, man, we're probably losing that day. And I go up, it's this thriller. You know, it was that was a really good game. Yeah. There are so many classics.
Yeah, there are a lot of amazing Red River shootout games. There's a lot of blowout ones, and again, the best one, that 49-0 was a fun one to be at. Like that one, we were all just in the stands, like keep scoring, don't stop scoring, like just run it up on them.
Keep doing
If I was a coach, I would never stop trying to score on Oklahoma. So they have put some serious ass whoopings on Texas.
Mhm.
I would score 100 points if I could, and I wouldn't even feel bad about it. I'd be like, don't come back next year because I'm going to do it again.
Well, but also the momentum shift in that game, like I said, in 2018, we had a huge lead,
Yeah.
and you can't have a safe lead in that game.
Mm-mm.
I was still biting my nails. We were up, 42-0. I was like, don't let them score,
Yeah.
because no lead is safe. Like, it doesn't even
Yeah.
matter to me.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. It's a great game, great atmosphere. If you have not had a chance to go one and you're a Texas fan, you got to go to one. If you're just a fan of like cool college football type stuff, definitely get to one because man, it is. I've been to a lot of cool stadiums. I've been to a lot of cool games. There is nothing like that one, and it almost doesn't matter. You're gonna have a good time, win or lose. The winning obviously so much better, but I mean, you talk about. I mean, what's your favorite food at the fair? I mean, they got all kinds of crap. What's your wildest food story at the fair?
So it was my senior year of college, and I got fried cookie dough for the first time, and
There you
I'm
go.
still dreaming about it. It was so good. It was amazing, and I love cookie dough.
Yeah, I had a fried Snicker one time. I think that's like the only sweet thing I had. It was amazing.
Mhm.
But there's just so many other things there. Like
Tons.
I'm about to drop like $500 this weekend on just like crappy food and beer probably.
Well,
But that's what it is.
It doesn't even go that far though. That
No.
food is expensive.
Yeah, it's yeah, you go to a little kiosk and get a bunch of coupons, and then all of a sudden, 2 hours later, you're back at it again. But
Right.
anyway, check that out. If you have not been, please go. It is such a good time. All right, let's preview the actual game a little bit. I'll get it started. 2:30 p.m. kick on ABC. Texas opened, I think, at 3.5, maybe 2.5 on some books. I think I saw today where the line flipped over to OU. It's been moving a lot all week. I think the line flipped to, is it 1.5 or 2.5 for OU now?
I think some books still have Texas -1.5, but I saw ESPN Bet for sure has it OU now by 1.5. And whenever lines flip, I stay away because it's like voodoo. You don't even know what's going to happen then.
Yeah. So this one, to me, that tells me, and we were going to talk about this anyway, so I'll just throw it out there now. Like earlier in the week, there was a whole lot of, talk about John Mateer. Is he going to play? He is expected to play. He's 100% playing. There is no doubt in my mind. Somebody knows that. That's why the line has done what it's done. So John Mateer's playing, and I'm for it.
Me too.
If we lose this game, I want it to be because I don't want to win the game. I would rather lose the game than win the game with that kind of situation where they don't have their best. And I know that a lot of Texas fans will probably argue with that, and that's fair too. You never want to lose this game. I just feel like it's so much better if you win the game when you're playing their best, and they don't have any excuses. It is what it is. So you just get it done. So I think I will be absolutely shocked if John Mateer doesn't at least start the game. I don't. Can he finish? I don't know. Adrenaline can take you a certain amount of time, depending on your injury. Like a little bit of drugs can kind of get you, a little shot in the hand there. I don't know. I don't know how you do that. I don't know how a quarterback do. You don't really want to numb up a quarterback's hand, I wouldn't think. So can he go the whole game? I don't know. But I don't think it matters. This Oklahoma team, 5-0, ranked number 6 in the country. Texas coming off what I thought, and I think a lot of Texas fans think, was the worst loss in the Steve Sarkisian era last week that set us at 3-2 and out of the top 25 altogether. Give us your thoughts on this game, just high level, Michelle. What are you thinking right now?
So high level, I wouldn't be surprised if OU plays both of their quarterbacks. I don't know how his hand would hold up just taking the snap in terms of I think it was his right thumb, so I could see them doing a combo or just seeing how the game is playing out. But yeah, Mateer, he is definitely going to play. in some capacity.
Yeah.
In terms of how the game is going to play out, these teams are very similar. I know that OU has a lot of momentum because they have won all of their games, obviously, but neither of these teams can run the ball well outside of their quarterback. And they both have not the best offensive lines. I'd say Texas has a worse offensive line, but neither of them, I would consider that to be their strong suit. And they both have a good defense. Like, these teams are very similar on paper. And so I have no idea what to expect in this game. Like,
yeah, I think you're right. There's so many scenarios that could happen in this game. It's kind of, I mean, it's almost pointless, like even trying to put it in a box and wrap it up in a bow and put it under the tree, because like, you're probably going to be wrong. Like, someone's going to say something and it's going to turn out right. But like, we talked last week about just kind of the game being obvious. And this is one of those games where, like, it doesn't even matter what's obvious on paper or what you've seen so far. You just don't ever know what you're going to get. You mentioned that Oklahoma defense and certainly the Texas defense, really good. Did not have a great outing last week. I don't think that's this defense. Like, I think even defenses have a bad day, and they did. And they'll all admit that. But to me, that's not this defense. Like, I don't think that's what we're going to see the rest of the season out of this defense. I just think it's way too talented to play like that consistently. But this Oklahoma defense is really, really good. What Brent Venables has been able to do in a couple of years on the defensive side of the ball, pretty phenomenal. And I'm petrified of what this defense might do to our offensive line, because this defense isn't just going to stand in front of you and try to physically beat you. They'll do that, but then they're also going to bring pressure from all over the field. That's Brent Venables' deal. Like, he's going to bring people up on the line of scrimmage, try to get everybody all jumpy and antsy, and then a lot of people are peeling back. A lot of people are coming that you didn't expect to come. He's trying to confuse you as well as just physically, dominate you. And that is going to be really tough on this offensive line, because they really haven't seen that this year. I know some of the three get right game teams did a little bit of movement. That's kind of what they had to do. I still don't even think that's even going to come close to what we're going to see out of this Oklahoma defense. I said it earlier in the week. I tweeted it out. Like, Kyle Flood, Steve Sarkisian have their work absolutely cut out for them this week. Just trying to get this offensive line prepared to know what to do. And then they got to go do it. And we saw them against this Florida team last week, just not be able to physically match up. And that scares the shit out of me, Michelle.
I know. I hope to see a different combination of players. I think if you go with what you've been doing, like, that's the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. I get it that it is not ideal to change your offensive line like 1 week before a game, but I think it has to happen. Now, what the best combination of players is, I'm not sure, but what we've been doing has not been putting anybody in a good position. And like, I think putting your true freshman Nick Brooks in that position in the second quarter, throwing him to the wolves, not even giving Nito a look. I mean, that was coaching malpractice. Like, that is 100% on the coaches. I don't blame Nick Brooks at all for what happened, because he was put in an impossible situation.
Yeah.
And so this week, I really hope to see a different combo. I don't even know what I want that combo to be, but better not be the same that it has been.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you, and this is nothing against Nick Brooks, like, he's a tackle, and he's
be great one day.
He's still a high school tackle. Like, he's not played a lot of college football,
right? And
that's just different. There was not a lot of guys getting around Nick Brooks in high school, because you just couldn't get around Nick Brooks in high school. But it's a completely different game now. And I think you slide him down into the interior. And I made a comment. I think tackles should be able to slide down. You see it in the NFL a lot with injuries. Tackles will have to play inside. It just is what it is.
Right.
They should be able to do that, but he's not ready for that. Clearly, like he
Right.
hasn't played football at that type of level for 6, 7, 8 years. Like a lot of those veteran offensive linemen that can make that move.
Right.
So, and you saw it. You saw him. I mean, he got a 0 in pass protection by PFF, and I I saw that and I was like, what? Like, how do you get a 0?
I don't even know. He was better than that. Like, I think he did as good a job as he could. He had some plays where he was great. You can see the talent, but again, they kind of threw him out there, and I'm like, seriously, in the second quarter, if he had started, I probably would have felt differently, because then to me it's like, oh, he was practicing there all week and they made that change at the beginning of the week, and whatever. But it was like, it was the second quarter, or maybe was it the second half or second quarter? Can't remember. I did not rewatch it because I did not want to to come to that. But and they just kind of threw him out there, and that just tells me, like, man, I know he's gotten reps there, but how much practice time has he actually gotten there? Like, that felt like, oh crap, we're bleeding. We got to do something.
Yeah, it was almost like throwing crap against the wall and seeing what would stick type of move. Almost. It'll be interesting to see, what they try. And Sark, that's the thing that's kind of scary to me, is like Sark said that was about trying to get our 5 best. We feel like those were our 5 best offensive linemen, like in a vacuum, right?
Right.
And so he's trying to get them on the field at the same time, which I totally understand.
Sure.
I just, I don't know. Maybe listen, the guy is talented. He wouldn't be at the University of Texas if he wasn't. Maybe that was like kind of the baptism by fire for him. And we see a different Nick Brooks this week.
Right.
And we'll have to, and that's the point. I think if we see what we saw last, and man, God love him. Arch Manning got his ass stomped the entire game in Gainesville. And he just kept coming back and doing it play after play after play. And again, like, if you're this team, someone's got to rally around that and just be like, that's not happening anymore. Like, it's going to happen some. It's college football, but that cannot happen every single play. Like, it was like every play he was getting hit. It was just terrible. And if that happened Saturday, like, this game could get way disgustingly ugly really quick. So, I look at this game on paper and I really think about it, Michelle, and I'm just like, there is no way Texas can win this game. Which, again, to me is the obvious thing, which makes it not the obvious thing. I don't know. Let's listen to these stats. Florida had 3 sacks coming into the game last weekend. Oklahoma has 21 sacks.
Oh my God, 21. Oh my God.
21 sacks. I think last season, a really good Texas defensive line, really good Texas defense had like 40 something in 16 games?
Yeah.
They have 21 sacks through 5 games. They have not turned the ball over that many times. Like, they haven't taken the ball away that much.
Right.
So that's good. But we thought a Texas defense that was sitting at 23% on third down conversion rate was, and that's astounding. That is an amazing number, 23%. Guess what Oklahoma is on third downs defensively?
I don't, like 12.
17%.
Oh wow, that's
teams
good.
Convert 17% of the time against this Oklahoma defense, and we are not great at third down. Like, I look at, and I even put them together, Michelle. I put the Florida ones and I put the Oklahoma ones. This was before, pre-Texas game.
Yeah.
Defensively, it is like night and day. Even though I think that we talked about it, that Florida defense really good. Even though the stats don't completely bear it out. But now this Oklahoma team is not flashy offensively. I mean, they're almost the exact same team offensively. We rush the ball a little better. on the season. They pass the ball a little better.
Which is crazy because we don't even have a run game.
Exactly. They score a little bit higher than us.
Mm-hmm.
They've both allowed about the same amount of sacks. They've lost the same exact amount of turnovers on the season. Third down, they're 44%. They're a little. They got an edge there. We're 34%. Yeah. They're 100% in the red zone. So let's not let Oklahoma get in the red zone. They figure out a way to dial it up and get points. Yeah. So I look at this thing on paper. It is not pretty, but I just keep going back to it's the Red River Shootout. We don't know.
Never know. Even Charlie Strong won.
Charlie Strong won Mr. Kick It Off twice in 2 games. Won a Red River Shootout.
Yeah, that's why there's really no excuse. And I mean, sure, on paper, with how the games have played out, we are, inferior in a lot of statistics, but we got a lot of 5 stars. We're paying our team a lot of money. It's the coach's job. You need to get the best out of them. I mean,
I think we'll talk about it. As a matter of fact, let's talk keys now. What are your keys to this game?
Okay, so my number 1 key is who's going to win the turnover battle. I think that both teams are going to turn the ball over because, again, both of these offenses have struggled in certain ways. But I think it's going to be about who can get the defensive score. There hasn't been a defensive touchdown, like a pick 6 or anything like that, since 2014. It's due. Both these defenses are really good. So who is going to take advantage of a turnover? Because I think both teams are going to commit some. And so it's just who can get the edge off of it, whether that's through a defensive score or like the offense capitalizing on it. Mm-hmm. My number 2 key is running. We've kind of talked about this already. Both teams are really bad at running the ball. So basically, which quarterback can put the team on their back and rush for more yards? And also just like a key stat is 24 of the last 25 Red River winners had more rushing yards. So like if you can win the rushing game, you're probably going to win the game. So like it's super important that Sark figures something out in that regard, whether it's through Arch or through something else. Like that's the key to victory for sure. And then number 3 is just which team is going to take advantage of the emotional swing when it happens in the game. Last year, the emotional swing was when Silas Bolden got on that. Remember, they like fumbled and then he got it in the end zone. And then after that, we broke the game open and it was over. There's going to be an emotional tide, sort of crazy play that happens. And whichever team can capitalize on it is going to be the one that wins.
Yeah, I think I've got 3 this week. I narrowed it down from 4 to 3. My number 1 is they got to be more physical in the trenches than Oklahoma. Again, we saw last week just on both sides of the ball. We saw a defensive line for Texas that usually is pretty active, usually gets a lot of penetration, usually affects the quarterback, and they couldn't even sniff DJ Lagway last week on the whole. It was just like I just felt like they got dominated. And then we saw the offensive line. We've talked about that ad nauseum. Like it just was not good. They're going to have to flip that completely on its head if they want to win this game. You mentioned the rushing stat. You rush the ball on this game more than the other team, you're going to win the game. And if you don't, damn.
Lose.
Yeah. Oh, well, like we did what we needed to do to win the game, I think. My number 2 key is this Texas defense has got to be the best version of the Texas defense this Saturday. We saw them play really good against Ohio State. Obviously, we saw them play really good in the get-right games. They're going to have to play the best game they've played all season, I think, to win this game. Yeah. And I had a little note in here. Like, I feel like John Mateer and this Hawkins kid are like the same guy, basically.
Me too.
This offense. I don't see. I mean, Mateer probably has the edge passing, and I'll even give it to him. I'll just say, yeah, he can pass better. But they're basically the same type of quarterback. The reason they're good is because they can run. They can buy themselves time, and they'll pull the ball down and go get yards when they need to. So I don't think Oklahoma runs anything different with Hawkins at quarterback than they do with Mateer. We're going to have to defend the same type of stuff. So the defense is going to have to stay salty, especially in the trenches. We cannot play off the ball like 10 yards like we did against Florida and give whoever is the quarterback these easy throws out into the flat.
Right.
So we got to pressure the quarterback. And the number one thing about the defense, they got to get off the field on third down. They did not do that very well against Florida. And they had Florida in some, again, they weren't like unmanageable third down situations, but they were pretty steep third down situations, and they couldn't get off the field. And if you keep giving people drives and opportunities, they're probably going to make you pay. And then I think number 3 is just show up. This Oklahoma program has been itching to get back to the point where they could even compete in this game, because it hasn't been competitive. Yeah, they had the Dylan Gabriel year where they won, but outside of that, has not been competitive for them, and it's been bad for them a couple of times, like really bad. I mean, they haven't scored a touchdown on Texas in 3 seasons. So Texas has got to show up and like match that intensity, or they're going to get beat down. Like, Oklahoma's not waiting. Oklahoma's showing up like this is a knife fight, and they do this every year. And they did it back when Mack Brown was the coach. And again, I love Mack Brown. He's he might be the best coach we've ever had. Certainly one of the best coaches we've ever had at Texas. But they went into that game every single year almost like we're just going to not try to lose versus we're just going to catch our hair on fire and go play.
Right.
And whatever happens, happens. That's what I want to see. I want to see guys flying around from the very beginning. I don't want to hear about, we knew we had to show up after the second half. I don't want to hear that crap. This is the Red River Shootout. Show up, get in a fight in the tunnel, get in a fight at midfield during warmups. Like I like when the kickers are out on the field, I want a kicker to like just run down the field and tackle. So I want to someone show me some life, show me some fight. And I'm usually not like this. That's how bad this is to me.
No, it's bad. We need to see it. We have only seen it, like I said, we've seen it from Arch. We've seen it from, maybe a few other players, but there hasn't been that passion, and I want to see it. I know that this team is capable of it, because even though we did lose a lot of people to the draft and through graduating, there are still, it's not like everybody left. It's not like this is a 100% new team.
Talented team.
The very talented team. And then a lot of the underclassmen, well, they saw those leaders who did leave and how they acted. And, I think this is one of the toughest jobs that I think Coach Sark has had since he's been here, is getting them ready to come out for a fast start in this game. Because if we come out slow, it's a wrap. I don't know how you rally.
Yeah, like, you can't. Yeah, even though the team played better in the second half against Florida, there still wasn't a lot of intensity.
Right.
It was just like they kind of played better. Like it wasn't as bad, Yeah. But there was no like fire, no, just I don't know what to call it. And again, I'm not attacking these kids. I'm not attacking these coaches. There's just something not right with this 2025 team in terms of mentality for these types of games. And unfortunately, we've talked about this before, Michelle. And to me, unfortunately, this is kind of a Sark deal. This is the teams just, for whatever reason, they don't come out ready to play a lot. It's not ever happened. Like, we've seen it. They came out in that 49-0 game ready to play. Like, you could clearly see it. They ran the ball all over Oklahoma. They threw the ball all over Oklahoma. They took the ball away from, they just did everything you got to do to win football games. So we've seen it, but we haven't seen it like that in a while. And so we're not going to see that from Oklahoma. And I don't know what it is, but the kids that leave Texas and go to Oklahoma to play football, like, they love this game. And they are ready to die for this game. Like, almost, you know what I mean? Like, this is a big deal to them. And that's why when we say, oh, it's just another game, I hate that. It's not just another game. It's not. I mean, you can say that all you want, but it's not. And it shouldn't be. It's a rivalry game. Hate them. Be pissed off. Go play. Have fun. Hit people hard. So that's what it's going to take. Those three things to me. They're going to have to be better in the trenches. They're going to have to show up, and that defense is going to have to play the best game of the season, I think. And I don't care that Oklahoma's offense isn't that good. Florida's offense wasn't that good.
Exactly.
They looked pretty good. I mean, they weren't great, but they looked efficient. Like they converted third downs. They got the ball where it needed to be. They were able to run the ball pretty well. So that, you can look at those offensive stats for Oklahoma and say, oh, they're not good. And they're not. But again, neither were Florida's. Let's move on to predictions. But before we do that, Michelle, I took a poll. You probably don't know this yet, but I like to do polls.
Okay.
On Twitter. And so I said, forget your heart. What's your brain tell you about the outcome of the Red River Shootout? And I had 4 choices. Texas wins big. Oklahoma wins big. Texas wins tight. Oklahoma wins tight. And I threw this on Texas Longhorn Twitter, which will go to that page or that group, but also out to anybody that follows me. And the results kind of interesting. I saw like 12% of these folks said Texas wins big, which
we have to clap and cheer for the orange Kool-Aid.
Yeah, that is definitely the orange Kool-Aid crowd. 17% says Oklahoma wins big. Yeah. And then almost 49% said Texas wins a tight one. And 21%, almost 22% say Oklahoma wins a tight one. So you've got the 30 or what is it 29% roughly that think this is a big win either way, and then 70% think it's going to be a tight game. But I don't know. What are your thoughts on those numbers? Like no, you can't really tell us where you fall without giving away your prediction. So I won't make you do that. But what do you think generally about that poll? Like, what does that say?
I mean, it says you have a lot of Texas Twitter followers. That's what I get from it. And it would be the same for me. Of course, most of us are going to be a bit more realistic and be like, oh, Texas wins, tight. Like that to me is what I'm hoping for, because I don't know that it's really realistic to think that Texas is going to win big, just because there's only been, a couple times this season we've even put up a lot of points to quote big. But yeah, I mean, it tells me that this fan base hasn't lost all hope. Like, I think everybody still, even though it appears based off some tweets, everybody's fire Sark, the season's over, really.
Yeah, there's some of that.
People still have faith in this team. But yeah, man, I don't even know what my prediction for this game is.
Yeah. No, I go back and forth. I sometimes I'll be sitting there just kind of thinking about it, and I'm like, yeah,
right.
This will be the outcome. And then I go back and I'm like, like it's almost senseless to predict this game. I mean, think about back in, and this is going to break tons of Texas fans' hearts, but like 2001, the year Oklahoma goes on to win the national championship for the first time in a long time, nobody has Oklahoma winning that game against Texas. And not only did they win it, they absolutely embarrassed. I think the final score of that game was 63-14 or something. I mean, it was like the midget kid from Oklahoma scored like 5 touchdowns on the ground. I mean, it was terrible. It was like one of the worst things I've ever seen. And so you don't know what's going to happen in this game, but we're going to predict it anyway. We're going to do our best. Michelle, talk to us, walk us through your thought process on how you think this game goes, and then tell us your final score prediction.
So I'm going to have a cop out, okay? Because I have two.
That's fair.
I have 2 scenarios. In my first scenario where Texas doesn't come out totally flat, I have Texas winning 17-13. It's going to be low scoring for both offenses either way. If Texas comes out flat, I think OU wins like 28-7.
All right. So you've got a
It all depends on how we start the game. Either way, it'll be like close if Texas wins, but if OU wins, I think that they'll beat us by several scores.
okay. Fair. That's a simple way to put it. So I go back to last week talking about the obvious outcome. I said last week, like, it seemed so obvious to me looking at these two teams and the way their seasons had gone at that point, that Texas was going to go on the road. They were going to have a business-like performance, and they were going to take care of business against Florida. I didn't think it would be a blowout or anything crazy like that. I just thought they'd go play well, win the game. This week, I think this week is different in that it is obvious what's going to happen this week. I think Oklahoma's defense is just way better than Florida's. I think this Texas offensive line, despite having the 3 get right games, they have not gotten right. And I think this Oklahoma defense, I think they're not only going to be more physical than that Florida defense was, but they're going to be able to do a lot of different stuff that we have not seen this season schematically to confuse this Texas offensive. This is a young offensive line, inexperienced group. And so I see that. And listen, I have picked Texas to win every single game for the last 3 seasons, except for one. It was when we went on the road and we beat Alabama. I had Alabama winning a close one. Mm-hmm. But to me, this is another game where Texas is just outmatched in the trenches.
Right.
I think it's going to be low scoring like it was up. I think they'll play. I think there'll be like chances they can win this game. Like you mentioned, a turnover that you take back. It's going to take something like that to me for Texas to win this game, or a big, some big offensive play that just we haven't seen the whole game up until that point for either team. But I got Oklahoma winning this one 17-10, and I know that's going to piss y'all off. Everybody might unfollow me. I don't know. I honestly don't care. That's just really what I feel like is going to happen. I just feel like I don't know, man. The psyche of the team seems weird to me. The way they lost that game at Florida is just not a good way to lose a game. You can lose, but man, you can't get your ass kicked. You can't get drug up and down the street like Texas did last weekend in Florida. And I don't know that they can come back for that. Be ready to be what they're going to have to be this weekend at the fair. So I got Oklahoma winning 17-10.
Yeah.
Tell me I'm crazy.
No, I think that's really fair. And I think, I think that this whole season, most people have just been giving Texas the benefit of the doubt. Like, oh, this will be the week we wake up. This will be the week we wake. Eventually you have to just stop giving the benefit of the doubt and trust your eyes. And what we've seen is a team that's been very inconsistent. Whereas OU, yes, they have their faults, but they've been very consistent. They know exactly who they are. I kind of know what I'm going to get from OU. I don't really know what I'm going to get from Texas. I hope I get spicy new edition Texas.
Yeah, I mean, if if somehow we get a different version of Texas than we saw last week, if we get the opposite version of what we saw last week, I think Texas is talented as hell. They're more talented than Oklahoma. They're just not playing like it right now.
Right.
Not even close to me. And unfortunately, Sark's getting like the brunt of all of that. Not Sark. Arch is getting the brunt of all that. It's Arch's fault. He's terrible. He's a flop. Like, you cannot have watched that game Saturday and really, like, if you came away from that game thinking that Arch Manning was the problem, and first of all, there's very rarely a one problem. Like, it's usually a combination of a lot of problems in almost anything. There's hardly ever just one problem. But if you even thought he was close to the top of the list of the things that went wrong on Saturday, you just don't know what you're looking at. And that's like the nicest way I can say that. That dude played his ass off, delivered some really good balls. Was he perfect? No, he wasn't. But no quarterback is, and no quarterback will ever be against that type of onslaught. So I'm interested to see if this Texas team can reverse what happened last Saturday. Because if they can, they not only can win this game, they could win this game pretty big. Like, right. I mean, not like I don't think they'll win at 49-0 big, but I think they could win this game by a couple scores. I just don't have any confidence that they'll do the things that they'll need to do that. I would love to be wrong. If I'm wrong, man, I'll come on here and say I'm wrong. I'll be the first one to admit it. I'm wrong. I have no problem with it. I'm old now. I've been married like almost 26 years. I can admit when I'm wrong. So anyway, those are the predictions. You got anything else to say about this Red River? Are you going?
I'm not going, unfortunately. Okay. My family is, though. But I do have a note I want to add. And I think that it's not part of my official keys, but it's something that gives me hope for Coach Sark and the Texas team. So I don't know how much you watch NFL football, but last week, the 49ers played the LA Rams at LA, and the 49ers are like decimated by injuries. Their offensive line is all banged up, has been pretty inconsistent this year. They were playing Mac Jones, who has been getting, beat up behind the O-line, of course. And Sark is a disciple from the Shanahan tree. They have a lot of similar stats in terms of not being very good in one-score games and, not really being flexible to adapting their offense to their personnel. They want to stay with their scheme. They're very stubborn. But I think that somewhere Kyle Shanahan has shown a lot of growth this year as he's been taking who he has and making adjustments. And so they were heavily favored to lose against the Rams last week. The Rams have an amazing defense. Like, they've got guys that can make plays all over the field. Matthew Stafford looks like he's in his prime still, even though he's almost 40. Puka Nacua is an amazing receiver. Like, they've got weapons everywhere. And the 49ers were able to come out, punch him in the mouth on the first drive. And then they were able to just hang in there the whole game and then, kick the game winner. So to me, that's the blueprint for Texas is come out fast. You just need to hang around, and Sark just needs to adapt his game to getting the ball out quick. Yeah. If Arch can just get the ball out quick, or just tell Arch, look, if your first read isn't open, you run. That's the only way, because your offensive line, it is what it is. There's not just going to be this magic elixir that's on the bench. And so I think, to me, like, if Sark can just pull a Shanahan and just adapt to what he's got, he has a chance. Because right now, like, on paper, OU's winning this game 10 times out of 10 based off of what we've seen from both teams. But you only have to win one time.
Yeah.
Can we get a game plan that works one time against them? And I think we can. And
I agree with you, Michelle. I think, again, the talent is there. The coaching talent is there. There is a game plan that will work for this team that can help them win this game on both sides of the ball. I just really worry about, is Sark willing to do that? Because we've seen him. I mean, this is year 5, and we've seen him, and I don't hate it. But he's going to do what he wants to do.
Right.
And fair enough. It's his team. He's doing what he thinks is best. I'm not hating on that mentality. I just think, though, at some point, and we're 5 games into the season, we're going into week 7, which is our game 6, and they're not responding to what you're asking them to do. He talks a lot about, we want to do the things we do well. Like, right now, this team doesn't do a lot well offensively.
Right.
We're going to have to do that. And I talked about it earlier in the week on Twitter. Like, you got to speed it up on offense. Way too many of our plays take way too long to develop. The pass plays, the run plays, they take too long. And these guys are not good enough right now. I'm not saying they couldn't be in 8 weeks, but they're not good enough right now to hold the line of scrimmage and hold those blocks long enough to keep those types of plays going. So just get up the field. Like, man, you see these it's gonna sound crazy, but you see these high schools that run like these veer offenses, and they're just handing it off and they're gone. And all of a sudden they're 50 yards down the field in the end zone, and nobody knows what the hell happened, because they just get up the field. Just get up the field and see what happens. I think if they do the game plan from the Florida game, they're going to lose. And honestly, Arch might get sacked 10 times because it's not going to work. So I'm on board for the change. I hope we see it. I hope we just see, maybe it's just a little wrinkle. I don't know, but I hope we see something different, and we don't see us just go try to cram that, square peg into that round hole over and over again, like we've been doing all season. So yeah, we'll be there. We're leaving tomorrow afternoon. We'll be at the fair all day Friday.
Oh, how fun.
To try to get that in before game day. And then on game day, it'll be, we'll do more fair stuff, but it'll be more about the game versus walking around and getting fat and all that good stuff. So
yeah, you can lock in, get focused.
Yeah, you got to lock in on Saturday.
For sure. Send vibes to Sark of let Hearts run, let him run.
Yeah, and like I said, man, if me being wrong means they did the stuff they needed to do to win, I'm happy to say I was wrong.
Sure.
So we'll see how that goes. Michelle, thanks for being here tonight. Thanks for everybody that watched. Make sure you check out Michelle on Twitter, her handle, whatever you call it these days. I'm old. We call it a handle.
I don't know.
Yeah. Her is right down there at the bottom of the screen. You can find us at Horn Takes on Twitter, YouTube. You can go back and laugh at some of my old TikToks, whatever you want to do. There's a tick. I don't ever post on it anymore, but there's the socials. We will probably not do a Sunday show because I'm gonna be driving back. I'm not completely ruling. And like if we win, I think we might do an impromptu Sunday show. So if you're available for that, let me know, Michelle.
I've got to go to church, but I can definitely do one right before church and just hallelujah, we won.
Yeah, like I can put a phone up on a little holder or something while I'm driving and talk.
We can do a little check-in.
We can do our 10 thoughts. It shouldn't be that hard if we win. So anyways, thanks everybody for joining us. You guys have a good night. Let's go up to Dallas. Let's make some changes. Let's beat these Sooners like nobody thinks we can do. Even me. I'm part of them. Y'all get hooked.
Hook 'em.